Alright guys, what the hell? This is your little taste of brimstone, I guess, for Sunday, and I don't remember what day it is, but we're gonna go with it. And this is probably going to be the first episode of What the Hell that ends up on its own channel. The other ones will be backdated on that same channel, and if you've come here with me from Rogue Mystic Divination, thank you for tuning in, and thank you for hopefully still staying in tune with that channel for your dailies. And I am really trying to up how many reads I'm putting up on there. So thank you for your patience as always, and this is What the Hell. Please be sure to like and subscribe this channel as well, and I may still be cross-posting these across channels, so if you'd just rather get these notifications, then here you go. I know there's not really a way to section out what kind of notifications you want, what kind of videos you want to see from any specific channel, and there's a lot over there. So if you like the What the Hell readings, please be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. And here we go. For this reading, we are going to, it is a timeless general reading, and it's going to answer these 7 questions. What the hell is happening? Why the hell is this happening? What the hell am I missing? How the hell do I feel about this? What the hell should I not do? What the hell can I do? And where the hell is this going? Making sure we got a good shuffle on this deck, because we don't want to get any repeat cards, and I want to give those reversals a chance to turn around, but I do read reversals, so that is your heads up if you would like to exit stage left now. For our first question, what the hell is happening? A lack of teamwork, disharmony, because those that decide to join the team have realized that they don't want to be a part of this. This does not align with what they wanted, or they're not getting what they wanted quick enough, and it kind of has everyone in a position where they're going and doing whatever the hell they want to, the way that they want to, and if it doesn't align with what they came here for, then they don't care, as long as they're getting what they want. And it's kind of like showing up to work and going in the back and coloring book pages all day instead of doing the job that you came there to do. So you may find that there are a lot of people that are maybe even to the point where they're disorganized and they're not trained properly. If you're in this kind of position, ensure that everyone has received the training that they needed in order to do what they were hired to come here to do. Don't be afraid to look at upper management and the previous team lead, because it almost feels as though there's a new team lead that stepped into this position, and that's where some of this disharmony is coming in at, right? And wondering why everything isn't working out. And with that being said, with this disorganized kind of chaos that like nobody's getting anything done that they need to, it's almost like you have to come in, or somebody needs to come in and analyze the problem. Not point fingers, not decide that this person's the problem, that person's the problem. There's really a management issue, and it's going to be important to pinpoint where it started at, so we can start to figure out how to fix the problem. Now, with that being said, did somebody leave something in shambles intentionally? This could just as easily be a romantic relationship, I don't know, some kind of personal relationship that you have with somebody else. Are they being manipulated? Are they being controlled by another source? because they want them to, maybe because they've known them longer. Maybe that's what this is. So if you're dealing with personal relationships that don't seem to be making a lot of sense, it's likely that there's at least one source that may be giving a certain idea of who you are as a person, what it is that you do, how you do things, and a lot of misperception is going on. Why the hell is this happening? Page of Pentacles. Someone's charged with the idea that, hey, they're going to be able to, they have all the resources that they need because they're coming from the Ten of Pentacles, right? And this could be you, this could be the people that you're trying to interact with, but I keep getting a lot of work vibes with this, so bear with me through that if you're looking for another kind of a read, but it's likely that you're being seen as though you're someone who came in with all the tools and all the knowledge that you needed, and nobody should have to help you out. Yeah, very kind of first daughter, first son. You should have been born knowing everything, and we shouldn't have to teach you anything. You know, we started you off in a good spot, and that's more than we ever had, right? So beware of, yeah, more misperception, more misconception of who it is that you are now. These could be the same people who were trying to manifest somebody in that was teachable, who could learn on the fly, and here you are. But they're just kind of leaving you out there, kind of floundering in the middle of the ocean, like you should be able to figure it out, and you were never even taught how to swim. There is some kind of financial opportunity here, however, it still seems like it's one that they want you to do all the work for without ever having any kind of skill development from their side. Like, they put you in the holodeck and expect you to figure it out. Figure out what it is that you need to know and just do it. But what the hell am I missing? The King of Pentacles. You're missing a leader with practical skill, with practical knowledge, hands-on. Essentially a hands-on leader who's willing to go in and do the work with you. With the Page of Pentacles coming out like this, it really is coming off as though you are like fresh out of college, fresh out of trade school, and you've done some of the hands-on work, but you haven't done a lot of it. Like, you've done clinicals, but you haven't done solo work, and they're expecting you to come in and act like you've been a nurse for 30 years, and you're a CNA, you're an assistant, you're not the primary caregiver. You need that person who has the time and abundance of energy to really step in and make sure that you're a part of the scene. Kind of lead you through the crowd, lead you through the mess, and even though this is the King of Pentacles, this is someone who is grounded and understands how to move whenever they need to move. I mean, I still hate that look on his face, but you know, that's whatever. How the hell do I feel about this? So how the hell do you feel about this? I feel like all of this should be able to fit in a frame, but it's not going to, and I'm not going to change anything else because I'm tired of resetting. We've got the Five of Wands. You feel so conflicted about this. Like, you should be able to have that kind of leadership on board because everybody knows what the hell it is that they're doing, right? They know how things work, how they're supposed to go, and whenever you get into the field, whenever you get into the position, there's a lot of, well, we do things like this here. Well, we do things like that here, and you should have already known this. It's like, actually, that's illegal. Actually, that's putting people in danger. That's not how you're supposed to do it. What you're saying is you've been taking shortcuts the entire time rather than staying up to regulation standard and OSHA standard, whatever, oversight agency that ensures the health and safety of workers and patients, workers and clients, however it is that you want to see it. And you're doing your best to avoid conflict and kind of figure out the flow here, but it's fire energy. Up until here, we've had nothing but pinnacle energy, and that's why you're kind of feeling as though you're misplaced here, because you're coming in to do work, to move, to make an impact, essentially make a good impact, not just on your life but on the lives of those that you're coming into contact with. And this is the issue. They feel like you're trying to burn bridges, tear down systems, but that's not what you're trying to do. As much as you're seen as kind of the fire starter, the problem, the new person who comes in and points out issues, you're willing to avoid conflict. You're willing to kind of agree to disagree to get through some of these interpersonal relationships. And it doesn't matter if this is a personal relationship, if it's a family relationship. It still is coming off as though it's work. Like, you should have to be paid for this in order to deal with this amount of ridiculous culture. Because that's one of those difficult things that we come across, is that every company has a culture now. Why do you have a culture? There's industry standard that you're supposed to stick to, right? And then you come out with this quote-unquote culture BS that everybody has to deal with. Well, we do things like this here. Well, it's against industry standard, and you're using that as an excuse to say it's an identifying characteristic of your business. And if you want the identifying characteristic of your business to be doing things wrong, endangering people, risking the health and safety of your workers and the clients that you pretend to serve, then that's up to you. But you are willing to work with this, because that's the foundation of this read right now, is pinnacles, groundwork, feet on the ground, walking through the mud, walking through the issues in order to get to a conclusion, to get to a result. And it's not a selfish result either. That is a key point of this reading so far, is that it's not a selfish result. You're not just working for yourself. You're willing and able to be a part of a team, but you may be trying to be a part of a team that's been indoctrinated to each other's BS. And they're willing to do that for a paycheck. They're willing to do that for whatever other plethora of reasons. Card 5. What the hell should you not do? You should not focus on difficult decisions. You do need to weigh your options whether or not you want to be a part of this, but I think it's what you shouldn't focus on right now is what you should not focus on right now is the difficult decisions, because there's not an answer that you're going to be happy with. Where are you going to go if you're not going to be here? Is there anybody you can talk to that's actually going to solve this problem? I don't think you have the answer to any of that, which is why you were really hoping to have a King of Pentacles person over here, because the kings always to me, are kind of the managers of the house, right? Managers of the element. And that's someone who manages the practical, day-to-day, oversight and ensures that everything stays on the level, right? That's what he's supposed to do, and he's in the upright here. That's where you were hoping to find. And instead, you're wondering if you should even be in this field if you're set up with these promises of this is how we do things, and if you see any violations, I'm going back to getting more of that healthcare kind of idea, and you're wondering, should I really turn this place in? Should I turn this place in? Should I report these OSHA violations, these Patient Care Act violations, these HIPAA violations? But you also might be broke. Because money and practicality is at the source of all this, and you went into this practical situation where you really wanted to make money while doing something that was necessary, that was needed. And you really kind of feel like you can't do that without sacrificing a part of you. The part of you that wanted to come in and assist, get things done, because you really wanted to do something, but it doesn't seem like you're going to be able to do much other than help the system stay bad. But if you don't try to change it, is anybody else going to come in and try and change it? And are they going to blame you for it? This Two of Swords could easily be kind of like the double-bladed sword of justice. You can't cut somebody without cutting yourself. Are you going to cut yourself out of a career? Out of possibly being able to pay off student loan debt, being able to pay your bills, by deciding that you can't be at this job. That being said, I do want to say that there are other places to work. They're not all like this, but how is it going to look if you quit within the first 3 months, right? How is it going to look if you're already looking for another job within the first 2 weeks? Is it going to make you look difficult? Is it going to make you look as though you don't want to do the job? Or is there going to be some other kind of kickback that you're going to have to suffer because you decided on the side of integrity? Card 6. What the hell can I do? Knight of Swords. If you're going to make a decision, make it, and don't dwell on the ifs, ands, or buts of what could happen. Do what you can to find another place to go, because you're going to need that other place to go. So if you think you're not going to work here, like you're not going to be able to deal with this kind of environment, immediately start looking for someplace else. Because even if you find someplace else that you would rather be, it's going to take you time to transition. It's going to take you time to go through all the proper paperwork and everything. And even though a lot of this is going to appear to be unpredictable to people on the outside, it's going to feel even more unpredictable to you. If you feel like you can't focus in this environment, in this relationship, whether it's work or personal, you're going to get burnout. You just are. Utilize this time to do research and figure out how to communicate what it is that you feel like you need to communicate. And I'm not saying burn bridges and intentionally make mistakes, but I am saying have conversations. Take some of this information, and because this is the Knight of Swords, and the Knights are always picking up somebody else's message and taking taking it to someplace else, you may have receipts that you need to, some kind of communication by email, by text, that you need a screenshot, that you need to keep some kind of record of and take it to the higher authority. On to card 7, wrapping up the reading. Where the hell is this going? Somehow you're going to get your wish granted. Now, your wish may be to get laid off, and then you don't look bad. You look like you're kind of a casualty of the job market, the ever-changing job market. Maybe the other person decides to end the relationship, whether it's work or family, or they go on to something else, and maybe you'll even luck out and get some kind of severance. And it'll be enough until you can get to the next job, because you're going to feel, this is the first bit of emotion that we have coming into this, and it's after this communication, it's after this trying to find your feet, find your ground, find your stability, and coming up as a problem whenever you do that. Because that's really what all this says, is that you're trying to find your stability, you're trying to find someone who you can rely on to help you find out what that is supposed to be, and whenever you do that, all you do is find conflict. And that's putting you into a position where you're looking at how to communicate, how to effectively have conversations about your expectations and how they're not being met, and what maybe other people's expectations are of you, and how you apparently are not meeting them, or you are, and you're going to get the feedback that you need, and you're going to get the ability to transition that you need out of this. So this is a timeless and general reading, so put this wherever it is that you need to in your life, and I hope that helped you guys out. And welcome to What the Hell.